That happened.
So that happened.
The nice
Oh,
thing about
that's
the cigars, they give you a minute to think between statements. It's like, all right. Might be like Face Off or something.
Face Off. You talking about like that Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage movie?
Cage, John Travolta,
Yeah.
yeah, John Travolta. fucking great movie.
What a movie. What a movie. Nicolas Cage. I'm really appreciating like the latest movies he's made, essentially just making fun of himself.
Well, I mean, he
Uh,
became a he's a freaking meme at this point. Like the lifestyle he's living is, like the shit he's been through. And some of those new movies are literally just him trying to get out of debt.
I
He's like
believe,
doing
yeah.
what he's like, whatever I need to do, I gotta, because he had I don't know if you guys followed him at all, but he made some crazy purchases and then found out one of his financial advisors was basically embezzling all his money.
Oh, that's the worst. Hate to see that.
Because he had like the Elvis obsession for a while, and he was buying all this memorabilia. And then he bought some property and a castle and like all this other shit. He was just having fun with his money, and then he turns around and he's freaking like 3 or 4 million in debt. And it was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Poor guy. That'll happen to a lot of these guys, though. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, looks like we've got the crew assembled. Let's go ahead and dive into week 10. So, anger, the thing that a lot of us just we don't express ever until we absolutely have to. And then some of us we use it as some guys will use this as like their main weapon to control everything and everyone around him, like Jordan. He's like, no, I'm not, I'm a little different than most in this scenario. So let's start with that to see what you guys found, what kind of questions you have, anything that we want to dive into there, and then we can branch off into whatever else you guys want to that's relevant to you right now, life wise. So, who would like to begin?
I'll jump the gun if nobody else wants to.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, it was interesting. This one was interesting because it's another reflection of the covert contract kind of thing, where it's like we don't express our anger, but we do it. It's just in very like manipulative, shady, kind of sideways methods. And for me, it kind of rang home a bit because like there wasn't a lot of opportunity for me to be angry because it always led to like really aggressive confrontations in my house. And then it just took on like that bad like the bad connotation, like, oh, you can't be angry because you're gonna be just like your dad, or like blah blah. So it was kind of eye-opening to see. It's like, well, you're still getting pissed and you're still doing angry behaviors. You're just very secretive about it and the way you do it, or the way I do it. Um, so it was an interesting one, and it's also kind of coinciding with one of these books I'm reading, where they're like, like there's alternate ways to express anger instead of just being like angry and confrontational. You could do almost like retaliation type behaviors. So it's like, well, they're not doing this for me, so I'm going to do this, and that's anger rolling up. It's just not expressed in traditional anger methods.
Mhm. Yeah, it can be expressed a ton of different ways. It's correct.
Like, oh, yeah.
You
So it's
could
like,
just
oh,
it can be like small things, like even small
yeah,
things where it's like I'm not going to bring that thing in for her. I'm going to bring my stuff. I'm going to leave that there. I could grab it, but she's been pissing me off lately, so I'll just leave that. I won't do that for her. Like all of these little
yeah.
things that can go into it. And also like this can lead to the self-destructive behaviors too.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where I think it always kind of snuck up on me without realizing that it was just, like I was angry, I was frustrated with something, and it would just be um, subtle lash outs, or subtle ways of kind of pushing back instead of just being like, hey, this is bugging me, like how do we work on this? It was like, well, I'll show you.
Yeah, how would it manifest for you?
Um,
Like, what are the little things that you would like the passive aggressive things and all these little things you
yeah,
would do?
it's like, oh, like normally I would be like all about this, but today I'm not gonna, like, and like I'm just not gonna, like I'm not folding laundry today. Fuck it. Like you can come home, you can see it's a shit show, and I didn't do this thing for you. Like, and then you can freaking deal with it. And it didn't dawn on me that I was doing it that way. But looking back at it with more open eyes, it's definitely something that was there. Um, I've also realized, like outside of relationships, because I have been in one since like since this, where I've had to worry about that, but we're just generally like speaking up, voicing frustration with something, and like especially with my dad, the last year or so has been more and more like, like cut the shit, you're being an ass. Um, and like starting to push back against that um has been a change for me. And then even at work, starting to do it a little more often instead of sitting at my desk getting pissed off and then like, fuck it, I'm just not answering tickets anymore and they can fucking carry the load. Um, I can see where I've done shit like that too. So seeing those things and just being like, all right, no, instead of bugging out and being, like being silently pissed, it's been more like, guys, hey, like I'm struggling. I got 5 or 6 queued up here, and there's 3 more still waiting. Somebody else needs to get on that shit, and it's just been a lot more effective. So, all those little things have been starting to add up. It's all practice, as we keep reiterating. It's all a skill and a muscle to flex and work on. Um, it's been lots of little changes for me, and then just each one of these lessons kind of gets a little more eye opening and bringing some of those things to the forefront of awareness. Um, So it's less like Hulk rage for me and more like, well, if they don't, then I don't, because this is bullshit. I'm pissy. Um, so seeing those little being pissy is and catching them and being like, yeah, I got to redirect this, refocus on it, and come at it in a more constructive manner has been a big deal.
Yeah, it'll save you a lot. It'll save you a lot of additional frustrations.
Yeah, I got to actually have I actually ended up having a confrontation on Friday with a coworker because we've had a project that's been going on. And for like the last week and a half, I'm like, guys, I need your status on this. And everybody's been rolling forward. And this one guy just never replied. And me and the other guy leading the project Friday night, we're like, we think we're done. And then at like 4:30 or so, he gets him in a room and they're talking about something else. And he's like, well, now that I got you in the room with me, like, where are you on this? And he's like, well, and it turned into like 6 or 7 hours of work for the two of us on Friday at like 4 o'clock. And it was just like, come on, dude. Um, So I kind of I got to corner him on Monday when we're both in the office and pull him in a room and be like, listen, you're the new guy on the team. You can't be fucking up like this. Like I know you're doing the fun shit and you're working on this other stuff, but like we got a project that's got to be wrapped up before the end of the month, and you just caused two of us a shit ton of work covering your ass. Um, and just making sure he's aware that we don't run into this again with him.
Are you like
So
his, would you be considered his manager or
his
how's that work?
manager, no, but I'm senior guy on a team of 5, and
Gotcha.
like I've interviewed all these guys, I've trained all these guys, I've brought them in, and it tends to filter through me just because I've been there so long.
Hmm.
And I'd rather have a conversation with him than push it to a manager and have it on a record or something to that effect. It's like, listen, you fucked up, fess up, do the refocus on the shit you're working on, otherwise this is going to become an issue. And I do still need to have a conversation with the manager just because I trust the guy and I know he's not going to turn it into a bigger issue, and I know he'll trust me to handle it. So he's a younger kid, he's new to the field, he's just getting his feet wet with it, but he's also got a lot of side shit going on outside, and as somebody who's been there, done that, I can understand that, but also, at the end of the day, you're here to do a job.
Yeah. Yep. You can't be,
So
we can't be handling your fuck ups like that.
yeah, I can't be telling my manager that that the work that we were running is done and then finding out after the fact that it's not. And it rolls back on the rest of us. So at the end of the day, we want our team to be as spotless as we can keep it because we kind of have a target on our back a little bit because of we're one of the large, as far as everybody, the perception is we're one of the larger teams, but not everybody recognizes how much work from the other teams trickles down to us because we're the front line for it all. We have we have direct face time with all the clients, whereas other teams like do work and then like the client side part of it always comes down to us. So aside from our own shit, we have other teams shit that makes it to us, and if we can't handle ours, then we're gonna get screwed with the rest of it too. So it's just helping the guy reprioritize shit.
Reprioritize. That's a good way to put it.
Well, he's he's
What do you think you would do differently, like looking back on it, right? Because you're looking for the updates and stuff. How would you handle it differently to avoid what happened?
um honestly, I'd have had to pull them into a room sooner when I recognized that we weren't getting responses instead of just assuming it was done. And just do a quick double check on my own, which is really at the stage we were at was we were doing our double checks because I pushed us to get it done early so we would have time because there's always a fuck up.
Yep.
Just any project where you're dealing with 400 people, that somebody screws it. So we had 4 weeks to get it rolled out, and I pushed. We got it done in two, and then the last 2 weeks was like the little one-off issues with other like other clients, catching up on all the little things that we missed. But I was counting on these guys to kind of let me know their state, and he was the last one holding out, and I should have stayed on top of him harder.
Mhm. Yep. I think that's correct.
Yeah,
As soon as you see someone not responding, give them the benefit of the doubt, but go check. Go see what's
yeah.
going on.
His excuse was that he wasn't seeing like for every one of these users we had to hit, we have tickets rolled out, and it's like we had about 40 apiece for all of us, and then me and the other guy running it each had about 80 or so. We took on double the workload because we were running it and we knew how to handle it better. Um, and his excuse was, well, my filters were wrong, so I didn't see these tickets. I was, well, if you didn't see them, you didn't fucking do it. And he's like,
It's a poor excuse, but whatever.
so we worked with him. We got his filters figured out. So now he can't use that again on us. And we got it taken care of. And I still have 4 or 5 days of lead time to finish out. So we're done early, even with the issue. So the forward planning saved us a lot of grief.
Cool.
And that was
Cool.
also a bigger step for me because I'm historically a bang it all out at the last minute kind of person because then I have the motivation to do it because that was always one of my failings. So this time I planned for all that and pushed to get it done faster instead of waiting for the last second to kind of bang it all out.
Good, man. Anything else you found in this section?
Um, no, it was just eye opening to see that the control I had on anger was not the control I thought it was. It was just sneaking its way in sideways instead of coming full forward.
Good. I'm sure most guys relate with that. It's like I'm not an angry guy. I don't do that stuff. We all have anger.
I'm not kicking in the room, flipping tables like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Hmm.
It's like, dude, seriously, come on. But yeah, I could see the ways the subtleties were always kind of undercutting the message. So
Good.
it was eye opening.
Good. Good. All right, cool. Aziz, you're up next.
I was waiting for that.
I was waiting for you.
Can you hear me? I'm on my phone now.
Yep, you're good. We can hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah, my for some reason my audio computer works when it wants to. No, this one was a little different from the previous ones, honestly. I was just kind of looking back through my notes, but it well, for one, I have always had like a lot of anger, and the only way that I've ever expressed my anger was through like yelling. Um, I think the only healthy way I ever expressed it was through like just martial arts. I think the only healthy way I've ever expressed it growing up. And then I think that when I went to college, because I didn't have class, so I had to find other ways to express it. And I think that was more through shit like studying because I had to kind of force myself. It was like I guess like a transfer of emotions, if you will, to kind of push all of that into my books or whatever. But I mean, the thing about this, the two parts, because I have been that person that I flipped tables, I punched a hole in the wall, several holes in the wall. I've been that person. Just out of pure just anger, um, and at simple things too. So, but I think that over the years I've gotten a little better. But for me, 2 points. I think that the anxiety and the fear, for me, sort of they tie in together, like brother and sister almost, because it's almost that we talked about something like that a little bit like last week, that imagination of the different like outcomes, and you're just trying to. None of them have happened, by the way. You just kind of imagining them, right? And then the fear part is like, for me, it's the aftermath of the imagination, if that makes sense. So what if that happens? That I think one of the videos talked about like, yeah, like having something taken from you or unmet needs and injustice and whatever the rest of them were.
Yep.
Um, those three, um, they happen in the imagined possibilities. The possibilities have not happened in real life, but those three to me have happened so much. And I think it's hard to. I grew up in a house with 10 people. So something's taken or lost. There's always going to be some injustice. There's always going to be some unmet needs because there's 10 people in the house. You can't control I mean, even simple stuff like who took the last slice of pizza, or there's who took the food out the refrigerator, if it was mine or it was somebody else. I don't know who took my shorts. Next thing you know, we're in a brawl. Me and my brother's in a brawl in the bathroom or outside or whatever because of stuff like that. But as we got older, it starts to like, things start to escalate. Oh, did you take my money or blah 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 stuff like that, right? So it's always one of the three or all three, or you feel, or I felt like, or or my parents like, oh, you did that for her, or you did that for him, you're not gonna do that for me, da, 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 blah blah blah. So it's I just feel like those three have been. After you mentioned those three have been a constant for me, just growing up. So I never really knew how to channel it because this anger can be good and it can be bad from what I read, depending on like how you use it, right? But I've never learned how to use it. That's the only thing. I at least never know how to use it the right way. But because those three are like a constant. Now that I'm older, the issue is that I have to not issue, but what's getting better is that like we talked about the boundaries, setting those boundaries so I don't get triggered or bothered or you know I don't have those unmet needs because I set those boundaries with other people or I set them with myself. But even at work, like they do, uh, like I just use I sometimes little things bother me. Because I think it's just built up over time, just from being at home with so many people. I have to use like a freaking uh Claude or Chat GPT, like, cause to like help me respond the right way. Cause sometimes just the little things just piss me off, man. Like I said, I have been that person that like literally I would flip a table, throw my controller, throw my phone at the wall, and then be like, "Fuck, my phone's broken." Um, but I'm trying to learn how to channel it. That's my issue. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Well, you know how to do it. Like you've done it through martial arts,
Yeah.
and that's a great place to express the
Mhm.
anger. Like it's a perfect place to express it.
Yeah.
Typically, the best way to express anger is through those physical outlets.
Yeah.
Yelling, of course, will be helpful in expressing it. It's just doing it in a way that's not going to hurt other people,
Yeah.
right? Especially people that you care about.
True.
And there are times where, it's really, I don't want to look at anger as a tool to be used as much as it is an emotion to respond to rather than reacting to.
Hmm.
So it's very much it's a trigger,
Yeah.
like you're being triggered. So how are we going to respond?
Okay.
Right? Most of the time in the moments, you got to take a step back and figure out like what is the proper response for this,
Hmm.
right? I just spilled all this shit all over the floor. Is the proper response for me to punch a hole in the wall? Probably not. Is the proper response for me to yell at the top of my lungs? Probably not. Maybe if you really feel like you need to, you can. And then, for me, like in the silly moments, like if it's like I'll release it with like a verbal thing, and then I'll just like the other day when I'm driving and I drove like I had like this window to go to the gym
Hmm.
and I needed to drive to the gym and then come back to my in-laws' house, gather up all the kids, get my wife, and like head to this wedding. I was like, all right, I only have so much time to do this. So I like typed in, I'm like, where's the YMCA at? I find it, click on it, and I'm out. It's like 15 minutes. I'm like, cool. And I get to the YMCA and it's just a YMCA preschool for little kids. And I'm like, this fuck. I'm like, all right. I like literally, I pulled off to the side of the road. I screamed as loud as I could. And then
Hmm.
I gathered myself and I was like, all right, let's find out where the real YMCA is now so I can get this workout in and go about my business. It's like, cause there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
I fucked up. I went to the wrong place.
Hmm.
So, it's just figuring out, all right, what do I need to do to release this thing? And
Hmm.
then what needs to be done for me to solve the problem that I'm in, right? Because typically we're angry because there's a problem
Right.
that has come up.
Right.
right? That's where it's coming from. So let's release that if you have a moment to do that. Sometimes you got to push it aside and release it later, but if you can in the moment, just like feel free to release it if it's appropriate. There's no one else in the car with me. I'm not gonna scare the shit out of my kids or anything. So I just let it out.
Yeah.
And it's better than me just like holding in this rage as I drive to the next YMCA. But then the real question is, what do I need to do to solve this problem?
Right.
Right? Like what is the thing that can be done for me to create a solution right now?
Mm.
And then sometimes it's going to happen when we're in conversations with people,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, for me, one of the things that that I still have a lot of room to grow in is like um, when people say shit to me that's like that I find inappropriate, that I find like, hey, that's not cool, man.
Mm.
That's not cool. So like that's been a challenge for me that I definitely still have room to grow in that because
Yeah.
I'll handle those in ways. Typically my default is to just like act like everything's fine and just move on from the conversation, especially if it's somebody that I don't really like. I don't even have a relationship with them. It's just a random person. Like I
Mm.
experienced it at this wedding that we were at. It's like this random like friend of a friend of a friend. And he's like talking to me and we're catching up a little and we're talking about like, I'm like, oh yeah, I homeschool my kids. And this is a guy who's, I don't know how old he is, probably like 55 years old. Just a kind of a dirtbag type of guy, just an asshole type of guy who has really done nothing with his life, and uh, he's not really liked by anybody, and it's obvious why. And he starts like jabbing me about homeschooling my kids. And at first, like when he did it the first time, I was like, "Yeah, no, it's funny, he's making a joke." But then he just keeps like pushing, and then my wife is like hanging out, and he's making her uncomfortable. And now I got it. Now I got to tell him like, "Hey, dude, you're being an asshole at this point for no reason, and you're
Yeah.
making my wife uncomfortable. It's like, why don't you go talk to someone else? Because I don't want to talk to you anymore." Right. So it's like, how do we handle these types of situations? Because then that goes in all these different directions. Right. It's like now there's like a weird confrontation at like this social gathering of someone else's party. Like, so it's like there's all these nuances to these types of things where it's like, what is the appropriate thing to do? Honestly, a lot of times I'm not sure.
Mm.
It's unclear. For sure, the appropriate thing for me to do is to not like rage out on him. Like that's not gonna like I shouldn't. I don't need to physically fight this dude at my family's wedding. Like
Yeah.
that would be radically. He might deserve that, but that would be radically inappropriate. So it's what I've found is like I'll get into these situations. And I have like frameworks and tools where I'm like, all right, this is how we diffuse, this is how we handle this, this is what I should do. But then there's always this moment where I like have the next day, I'm like, hmm, like, what did I learn from that? How would I handle that differently if I found myself in those scenario again? And
Yeah.
that's the process. Like we're all in that process.
Yeah.
Like we're going to handle it best we can in the moment, but there's always going to be room to make changes and do it a little differently or do it better. Don't dwell on it, right? Don't have it like sit there and be this thing you can't grieve and it's fucking you up. Just make it a thing of like, all right, if that ever happens, if I'm ever in that situation like that again, this is how I would handle it.
Do you think it would be appropriate to, at this point, like for example, at the wedding talking to the guy, right? Would
Mhm.
it be appropriate to have that what did you call the paralysis by possibilities? Because I'm thinking of different scenarios, like maybe I should say this, maybe I should say that, maybe I should say this. But it's hard to do that in the moment when when you have that anger kind of running through you, like
Well, this is where the like your training and your
Yeah.
understanding beforehand kicks
Hmm.
in, where it's
Yeah.
just like you'll be a lot of times you will be reacting
Hmm.
and you'll kind of rise to the level of the work you've done prior to,
Yeah.
right? Just like a fight. You're in this situation where it's happening very fast, right? And for us, like we're pretty whenever we encounter people like that, we just we just exit the conversation. We're just like, well, that is someone not worth talking to. So
Mm.
let's just move on from that. Right. That's how like most of those types of situations are for us, like how we handle it.
Okay.
Because for from my perspective, and maybe that's right, maybe that's wrong. Honestly, I just have my perspective on it. And my perspective on it is if this is a person that I'm probably never going to see again, that I really don't want to connect with or have any type of relationship with, what is the point of a confrontation? Has he done anything that has crossed a line that would um, require a physical confrontation? No,
No.
right? So, what would be the point of entering into the confrontation? Like, what is my goal with that? Because typically, the goal of entering into a conversation like that would be to connect with the other person in a way where we both understand each other, right? And then like boundaries are set, and it's like, hey, like we're cool, but don't do that. Don't do
Yeah.
that again, right? But I'm never gonna like. There's no purpose for me, laying out the groundworks of our relationship that we're never gonna have.
Mm.
It's just like this dude's a loser. He's an idiot, and I'm just going to not talk to him while
Yeah.
I'm here at this party. He wouldn't be able to understand the conversation anyways. Nor would he like anything would result in it. There would be no good to come of it. It's like the whole story with the tiger and the donkey. It's like, why am I gonna try and explain to this guy who has no healthy relationships in his life how to have a healthy relationship with me?
Makes sense.
Right? So it's kind of pick and choose your battles
Mhm.
to invest time and energy in. And for
That's it.
me, yeah, the decision that I've made is just like, is this relationship going to be something that is like long term? Are we going to have a working relationship? Is this a coworker? Is this a friend? Is this like what is the relationship and is it worth like engaging in this further to figure out how we're going to be in relationship together? Or is it a situation where it's like I need to just smoothly exit this before it does turn into an unneeded confrontation and then
Yeah.
now any that could go a number of different ways.
I've seen it several times go the opposite. Go the opposite, or there was a my apartment complex. Sometimes they have different events in the leasing office and give away
Yeah.
free food and stuff.
Hmm.
And I went up there like I'm like it's 3 o'clock, like around they had it for like 3 to 5. I went at like 3:30. I didn't have any meetings or anything, so I was like, let me run to the office to give me some pizza and run back. And there was this guy in there trying to have a conversation with me. I didn't want to talk to that dude. I just didn't want to talk to him. Like he seemed cool and nice, but I just didn't want to talk to you, man. It's nothing personal. I just didn't want to have the conversation. He was talking and talking, and I'm like, bro. And then I was just like, I kind of grabbed my food, and he's just still talking, still talking, still talking. And at some point, I was like, just thinking of what to say because I was gonna in my head I was like, shut up, but I didn't want to say that.
What do you
Um,
think you should have done?
I just told him like I just simply said, "What was your name again?" And I don't remember his name. He told me. I was like, "Okay, nice to meet you. I'll talk to you later." And I just walked off. I was
Yeah.
not about to continue the conversation
Yeah,
because
it's
I knew if
easy.
I slowly walked off, he would have followed me. And I know I just shook his hand and I just took off.
Yeah, it's easy. That's the right way to, I mean, you can do it a lot of different ways like that. I mean, um, that's appropriate in my mind. Most of the time I'll just say, hey, I don't mean to interrupt you. I gotta get back. What was your name again? Oh, cool. Good to meet you. I'll see you around. Right? Just let them know, like, I gotta go. I got a thing. Don't mean to interrupt you. I would love to, I'm wearing a mask. Like I'm
Yeah.
putting on a mask
Right.
to exit. Like I would love to hear more about this, but I gotta get going, man. What was your name again? All right, cool. I'll see you again.
Yeah.
Good meeting you. And then I'm out. Like this is where, when we talk about like being nice,
Right.
these are the scenarios where it's like, go ahead, put on the mask to like exit these things because this is a person that you have no desire to ever have an actual relationship with.
Yeah.
So you can do it. You can put on the nice mask and like say nice, like see you later, or you can just like you can be an asshole too. I mean, it's up to everybody
Mhm.
how you want to handle those situations. I normally just put on that mask and like, all right, let's get out of there. Whew, okay, that was annoying.
Yeah, that's what I did because I didn't want to
Yeah,
talk.
it's fine. So where do you struggle when it comes to the anger piece though? Like, what do you feel like you're missing?
And I yell. I mean, I have a deep voice already, so if I just push it up a little bit, it comes off as yelling. But I do yell sometimes. But the issue is, and I think it stems more so from, like I said, I grew up in a house with so many people, and I feel as though if I'm not yelling, then I'm not being heard.
Right, but
It
that's not
starts turning
correct.
into a yelling match, right? Then somebody else is yelling over here. Now I have to raise my voice because I feel like you're trying to talk over me.
Right, right.
Or I'll start yelling like if I tend to cut people off because if I just hear something that's just not true, like you're clearly like lying. So I immediately jump in like that never happened. That's not true. And then that's next thing you know, it starts turning into um a yelling match.
Mm. Yeah.
Which happened. Was that last year? Was this is 2026? That was 2020. I think it's 2024, 25. But no, I was like I said, I was talking to this girl at one point, and I did better than I thought I would. But no, it turned into she started doing what the I never even heard that word before until now. I heard posture, but I never heard posturing. Sort of uh, standing over me. I was sitting on the couch and she was yelling and pointing her finger. Now, for me, when someone stands over me, I take that as a sign of aggression. Like I feel like you're about to hit me. I don't like when somebody stands like if I'm sitting down and you're standing over me and you're yelling at me. Like I'll take it from my mom and my dad, but I'm not going to take it from anybody else. So I kind of stood up, like because I just didn't feel uh not safe, but I don't like don't stand over me and yell at me. It's one thing to stand over me and just have a conversation, but don't yell. Because to me that's a sign of aggression.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't like that. So I stood up
Hmm.
and I'm like, but like I told her like, yo, calm down. Like you ain't gotta yell and cuss and whatnot. It's just going and going and going and going. And at that point, I was just like, man, I just said, shut. I just yelled out. I said, shut up. And then next thing you know, she starts swinging. She's just throwing like full blows. And so I think she hit my arm, but she was going for my face. But I remember like, I think she hit one arm, but I remember going under her and just picking her up, like lifting her off the ground, like, yo, just calm down. I'm gonna put you down when you calm down. And she kind of relaxed. And I remember at some point I just went back and sat on the couch, and I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave because it's gonna get if I stay, it's just gonna get worse. Uh, that was not a good situation. Now I think that if that had happened, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago, I probably would have swung back.
So
5 years ago, I would have swung, but
what is
I was looking, I was trying to look ahead because I know if I would have swung, I'd have been in big trouble.
yeah, that would have been
So I
bad.
was looking like
What is the correct thing to do when someone's yelling? Because right now you come up with them.
when someone's yelling.
Yeah. So they start yelling
Honestly, I
at you.
think the best situation is just to either to let them get it out and wait till they finish, or because I feel like interrupting them would just make it worse.
Right, like
So
you
I'm
did.
thinking to just let them get it out.
Yeah, like you've been experiencing. You're like, I cut them off, and then we're going back and forth.
Yeah,
That's what happens. Just let them get it out.
yeah,
But this is like this V concept that we've maybe you guys have heard it, maybe you guys haven't. Um, this V concept. The louder they get, the further away we are in connection. So if you follow them up, you guys are just pushing away from each other. You're not connecting. You have to stay here and wait for her to follow you back down.
okay,
Wait for them to follow you back down. But you have to handle like your triggers during that moment. Because they will be saying things that is like maybe inaccurate or you don't see it that way, or like judgments and accusations. That is typically what's happening when someone has gotten to that level because they're angry,
yeah,
right? Let them get out whatever they're going to get out, and then keep it low and slow and respond back to them. That's how to handle these scenarios.
okay,
That's how to de-escalate. And if they keep going, then it's probably time to leave, like you said.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's the best option because
If you got a
it
girl
just turned into a young
that's
man.
swinging on you, like you should not be with her.
No, I left that night and I filed a police report actually that same no, yeah, the same night because I was like, I don't. If he was a dude, we'd have been do. But I'm not stupid, so I left. Because I couldn't take it. I was because usually at home, like if there's like a shouting match, usually when I'm arguing with somebody, at least at home, right? There is sometimes I cut them off. I think, like I said, I think going forward, I'm just gonna just let them talk because sometimes when I cut them off because sometimes people just go on and on. Like if you let them talk, they just won't stop.
Yeah.
But um,
If they're yelling and ranting, like it'll come to a close.
okay.
Just let them burn themselves out, and then you can respond from there. Like how your family handles conflict is completely wrong. Like it's completely inappropriate. It's not good. How all of our families handle conflict is probably incorrect. It's not, we were not given great examples at all. So we're not revving up with them and we're not running away from them. We're just staying cool, calm, collected, and engaging in the conversation.
Yeah, got it.
How did your experiment go this week in saying hi to people?
It went well. Went well.
Pretty
Somebody wanted
easy?
to have a conversation with me. I didn't want to talk to him, but I did. I didn't want to talk about the dog, and I'm like, I don't know. When I get out of work, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you people. But no, even at work, we had another session, another learning session. I asked a lot of questions.
Good.
I asked a lot of questions. Participated. I think I was the only one. Participated a lot. I had another session with my manager just to build a better rapport with her. She liked that, so we got to have another one. I think either this week or the week after. And then when I go on my walks, I did like speak to people. I went to a birthday party yesterday, one of my friend's birthday party. Her parents were there, had a conversation with them. I actually enjoyed having a conversation with them. Um, yeah, it went pretty well. It went pretty well. Some people
All
talk
right.
more than others.
There you go.
It went well.
So you breaking out of the show?
Yeah, I got some. I got some new contacts on LinkedIn and some Instagram. So that was nice.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll keep doing it.
Just keep doing it, and
Yeah.
we'll keep leveling it up as we go.
Awesome.
All right. Who wants to go next? Go ahead,
I'll go
Jordan.
again. Oh,
Oh.
never mind.
Oh,
Jordan, you can go. The hell?
All right, I'll go.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the way JR pegged it in the beginning of the call, like, yeah, I'm different. I use anger as a weapon. It's actually like a big part of, you know, growing up and boiling down my resentments from, like Aziz and even JR. I come from a big family where, being loud and aggressive, sibling rivalry, shit like that. It kind of taught me a little bit of different shit about anger. But I'm kind of struggling to see how, I've always thought like, I've developed anger as a tool. Like it does have a place, just like fear. Fear tells you when something's dangerous. Anger tells you when something about you don't what you don't like or what you don't agree with or what you feel is an injustice. Um, so it's like I don't know if are you saying it's beneficial to completely dismiss it and just use it as a reactionary tool, or is it
no,
beneficial to use it as
no, you don't want to
as I
dismiss
said,
it. Like you want to acknowledge it. You want
okay,
to acknowledge it and look in these areas. Like you want to, like if you're angry and you're like, why am I angry? Just look in those three areas. Like, was something lost or taken? Is there an unfair thing going on? Is this a manifestation of unmet needs? Okay.
right? And that kind of brings me into a question. On top of that, is like these unmet needs. That kind of is it normal for them to overlap? Like I can't really pinpoint where that anger is coming from exactly. It's like, is it an unmet need? Isn't it injustice? Is something been lost? I don't. A lot of the things that really trigger me, by default setting, they kind of overlap when I
Like
feel them.
what? What would be one?
Like either being unheard or feeling like I've been an injustice has been committed upon me at the same time. Especially with relationships that I care about, because there's a different boundary to where, like, my work relationships or stranger relationships, I don't really give, like, honestly, I don't really care that much. But I mean, they do have their triggers and they do have their, they are a relationship. But it's like when my closer circle where I do care more and I do have more of that nice guy thing, it's like I feel more. I feel more of an injustice. I feel more that not I'm not being heard, or that it's an unmet need at the same time. Is that normal, or do I have to think about it more to boil that down?
No, there can be an overlap in that of this man. Typically, what with the manifestation of unmet needs, it is a like building on top of each other. It's not just like one thing of not being heard. It's typically like a
Right.
bunch of them have stacked up in the relationship, and it's causing this resentment and anger. So it's typically not just like one experience with that. The injustice and unfairness, when you are having that, where you're like, this is not cool, I feel like there's an injustice against me, or this isn't fair. What you have to do with that is simply first is check it. So check your morality. And how we do that is just flip it. Like if
Like, does it align with my belief system in a conducive way?
Yeah, so what we would do is we would flip it and then ask, do you think it would be appropriate if I did this to them? Like what I'm seeing they did to me. Would it be appropriate for me to be angry at them in this way or right, for them to be angry at me in this way? Right? Like for an easy one is like talking to one of my buddies. He had this breakup with this girl and he's like, I'm angry, man. I'm like, well, what are you angry about? He thought about it and he's like, I'm angry that she didn't turn out, like, I'm angry that she didn't turn out to be the person that I wanted her to be. I was like, okay, so you're angry at her for being her instead of being someone else that you wanted her to be. Does that make any sense? He's like, no, I guess that doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, so no reason to be angry about that, right? No need to be angry at people for being themselves instead of being what you think they should be. Does that sound right? He's like, yeah. And he like laughed about it. He's like, okay, so now that's gone. Because there's going to be situations like this where it comes up where it's like, we're actually, it's an incorrect reaction to whatever is going on. It will bring anger up in us. But sometimes it's like, yo, it's a messed up belief system that we have that's there. And this is how we can find some of those where it's like, what am I even doing? Why am I mad about this? There's nothing to be mad about. If they were mad at me for this thing that I'm mad at them for, I would think that that was really fucked up.
What do you do when that does the checkout? Like it would be like they would be mad at me if I did, which makes me that's where the anger really comes from. I guess the resentment.
Yeah. So then if it checks out, then it's how should you respond? It's like what needs to change? Do I need to have a conversation with them? Do I need to end this relationship? Do I need to set a boundary? Do I
Mhm.
like what needs to happen to correct this so this does not happen anymore?
Yeah, anger's a tricky thing because, but at the same time, it's a double edged tool. It'll bite you just as much as it'll help you. At least in my experience, because it's like I got two different things. Like something stolen from me. You owe me money, or I gave you something, and then you failed to deliver up on something, a favor, whatever. And that's different than my closer circle of people not hearing me, not giving me a need, not it's more of a personal betrayal, which brings a different type of anger. That how you express it, how you deal with it is very much a double edged situation.
Well, another part of that is also um, there's also a level of acceptance that needs to happen with certain people in relationships where it's like this is who they are. I've already talked to them about this, or even if you haven't, maybe there's not even a reason to talk to them about it. Like there's no real solution that will be found in this. And it's like I just need to accept them for who they are and base the level of time that I spend with them around understanding that. Like this is the capacity that they have to be. This is as good a friend as they can be. This is as good a dad that they can be. This is as good of this that they can be right now.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
it's the
Scott.
same thing.
I was going to jump on this one for a second because I've had similar things, and the one question you might have to ask yourself, because it's been like be off base on this one, is did you tell them the thing they're not doing that's making
Yeah,
you
to
feel
quote the
unheard?
contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's it's a sneaky bitch. It gets me all the time.
and I'm the
So
type of person that I will out. A lot of times I'll be out loud about shit. Like I'll say too much. I'll be brutally honest, or I'll say more than I probably should about a situation that I feel unjustified for, because a lot of that comes from assumption or the bargaining phase, that leaks into it as well. I feel, especially when it comes to anger, because anger is a potent emotion, just like love. Love is very potent. But
Yeah.
so the anger can be, because it can border into hatred, it can border into like resentment. You sprinkle a little bit of grief on there, which is a very, very big question that I had at the end of Rick video, is that he said you had to master grief in relation to mastering anger. And I wondered how that was.
What exactly what I just mentioned. There's certain things that you're going to have to come to acceptance with. There's a lot of things that make us angry that we can't change. It's totally out of our control. And if you can't process that and come to a place of acceptance with it,
Greatest sword that you have.
yes, you'll
Yeah.
be angry all the time at something that you could never change. Like, can you change that your son has autism?
No, I
Can't.
can't.
And if you
No
would
matter
just
how angry I get, I can't change the past.
exactly. So like you being angry all the time
Yeah.
about it isn't going to help either one of you.
What about the giving from the abundance? I remember in your video, a man was saying, he quoted Jesus about giving from abundance. Is that scalable in that how it helps with the anger?
What do you mean by that? Like giving your anger from it? What do you mean?
No, like how you were talking about, sometimes it helps. It's kind of it's just left field question, but it was specific about how he was talking about, giving is a type of a dopamine hit. Like if you're able to give to somebody, but you don't want to be at an emotional deficit, is that scalable? Like an example, it's like somebody asked me for a cigarette and I give them a cigarette, compared to something like somebody close to me asking me for a personal favor that I don't have. Is that the same? Does that build a bad habit for that?
I'm missing what you're trying to ask. I'm not understanding. Like I get
I
the
mean, it's
concept.
kind of a drastic it's kind of a drastic analogy. It's like even in an emotional deficit, like if somebody that I'm close to is asking me for something that I don't really have to
Mhm.
give, but I care enough that it's like it's not that much I can give, but at the same time it's taken from my emotional pool. Is that the same as if, my wife is asking something very big about me and I don't know. I'm just wary about giving. I'm wary about giving myself, and I'm just like, is how much of that is really okay? I guess is the bigger question.
How much is it okay to give?
Yeah, like personally, this is like
Yeah.
it kind of stems into it makes me angry too. It's like it's a trigger of mine, and this may be just specific for me. I don't know. I
What's a
mean, the
trigger?
anger
What's a
thing does.
trigger? Like you having to give
like
to
like
people
when
or
people ask me for all like only my closer circle, my family, my mother, my brothers, my I don't outside world is not included. But it's like if I'm feeling an emotional deficit, or I'm feeling like I really don't have it, it's like I get angry that they're asking me. And that's why I'm asking, is that scalable? Like am I giving, should I not give to others and concentrate on another group?
you
Because
sh
it,
you
it becomes a trigger.
yeah, you shouldn't be giving things to people that you don't have to give. And if you're
But it's
angry
like I
and
can.
you're getting triggered by them, I'm not exactly sure what is happening there. It could be your anger could be coming from a place of the fact that you don't have enough to give to them and they're asking for it, and um you feel mad at
Obligated.
well, you feel mad at them for asking, but what you're actually experiencing is it's like, if you went to a store and like you were mad that the steaks cost too much money. You're not really mad that they cost too much money. You're mad that you don't have enough money to buy it,
Yeah.
right? You're probably not mad that they're asking you for something. You're mad that you don't have it to give to them.
But I feel like I'm getting mad at them when they ask me because
Yeah,
I don't have it to give.
exactly. But this is the scenario. This is the scenario where you check your morality. Do you think it's fair if you went to them and asked them for something and they got mad at you for asking for help in some way? Do you think that's cool? Justified?
No, no.
No, it's fucked up. So this is where you check your morality. This is the other side of it that we talked about, where it's like I would kind of be upset if that's how my family responded to me when I asked them for shit. They just got mad at me. So then when that happens, you got to dive deeper and ask like, why am I getting triggered by this? Like, what am I actually like? What am I so mad about? Because this is not correct. I have just swapped roles. And if they responded to me how I'm responding to them, I think that's fucked up. So then you got to go deeper and ask like the why questions, like, why am I responding to this way? This isn't the right way to respond. And I'm being a
Yeah,
little,
I've tried to like write about it and boil it down to like like I said in the beginning when I first started talking about it, being the oldest of like six plus, my family, step parents, step is a lot of like unmet unfairness, injustice. I see, my younger siblings get away with a lot of shit. I had a lot of the way that I feel, but I get lost when I start like boiling it down that far. I can't pinpoint it. I can't pinpoint where I feel on that and how it bleeds into what I was asking.
well,
I know it's like
everything you
where it's
just
coming
said
from
right
somehow.
there. Yeah, everything
Because
you just said
like I
right
said, the
there.
rest of it. I mean, dealing with the outside world is a lot a bit different.
Yeah, hold
Yeah,
on a second. So everything that you just said right there, all that stuff that you identified, it's not that that stuff
yeah,
is incorrect. This is where it comes back to that statement you mentioned earlier. Master grieving and you'll master anger. All of those things you found are correct and they need to be grieved because those are things that happened. They got treated differently than you got treated. They got different experiences than you had. They had more given to them in a lot of different ways than you got. And you can't change that. And you were resentful for that, right? And angry about that. And that's correct. Like that, what you found is correct. All of those things you need to come to a place of acceptance with.
how do you even
Hold on, you're breaking up
because
real bad
I
right
don't
now,
know.
Jordan.
I don't really feel that. I don't. Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
How about now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Well,
Maybe
how do you really or how do you scratch the surface for that acceptance?
the acceptance of those issues that you brought up with the relationships that they had with
Yeah,
your parents versus yours. you have
Yes.
you have to take each one of those experiences through the grieving process on purpose. And you have to find, because whenever that stuff comes up, those feelings come up, like it is leading to this anger and resentment from them because they're asking you for something, and the first thing that's going through your mind is, well, fuck you because you didn't give me the things that I needed when I was growing up or when I was in these times. You gave them to all my brothers and sisters, so like why should I give anything to you?
Yeah.
That's where it's
Yeah,
coming
like when I
from.
was growing up, they were saying, you know, they're, they're saying I prepared them for the world. I was hard, I was fair, I was loving, I was like nurturing. When I didn't have, like, I was young, too young to be. But at the same time, I'm dealing with the outside world and providing and, you know, making money and all that. And it's just like, even now, like like now my mom's asking me for help for the family. It's like, well, I did my fucking share. I thought. But then I feel bad for even thinking that way, and it makes that's what makes me angry. It's like it's a conflicting loop that triggers me, and it's like just them asking me that. That's that writing about that. That's what I kind of boiled down, and I'm losing. That's where I lose that kind of connect. That's why I'm not really getting it. Like, why the hell am I doing that? But the way you say it, like, you know, it's about grieving and acceptance. Like Rick says, acceptance is the greatest sword you have between in this whole battle.
Yes. Yeah,
Because
it
because
is.
it works in all of it,
Mhm.
in the bargaining, in the doubt, in the shame, in the grief. It all
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, you have to accept everything that's going on in this scenario. Your mom is asking you to help your family, who are a bunch of people that got way more help than you ever got.
Yeah,
And they're asking you for things that you don't really have to give to them.
yeah.
You have to accept that and
It's
then
like both when I
respond
was young and
accordingly.
even now.
Yeah. So you have to accept that, where it's like, like these people have all of these things have happened. And now they want me to help them get out of their shit when they weren't really, they set me up to fall into all of my shit and they had it much easier than I ever had it. And now I've got my wife and my child and my family that I'm like trying to just barely take care of at this point, and they are asking more from me.
Yeah, and it makes me mad just that they're asking me,
Right.
not even me answering. I'm just like fucking. I don't even know why I'm mad.
It does it you do know. Like everything you just mentioned, that is why you're mad. Like all of that shit in the past, them coming to ask you for that. It's a combination of both. It's like, number one, you don't feel like you should have to help them. It's like part of it. You're like, that feels unfair. I should have been the one that was getting helped. You guys never helped me the way you should have helped me. And then the other
Yeah,
piece of it is like, I don't even have anything right now that I could use to help you guys, even if I wanted to. So it's both angles of this is hitting you, where it's like I don't have enough to help them, even though I would like to help my family. It's not that I wouldn't. But then the other side of it is this resentment side where it's like, fuck, why are they coming to me for help?
yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So you have to accept all of that. Come to acceptance and be okay with the fact that they are who they are and you were raised the way you were raised and they need help. Like, all right, that's happening. And then the other side of it is you have to also accept I can't help them right now because it would be taking time, energy, and resources from me and my wife and my child that I don't have enough to give.
and then just keep doing the reps of accepting that. And I ain't gonna be angry about it no more.
Yes. If you
I'm
accept
down.
something, why would you be angry? Like that is it. Like if you've accepted, well, that is happening. I don't need to be
Yeah,
like, I don't need to be
I
angry
mean,
about it.
I guess. Do you feel like, well, like from your family's did you ever feel when you were presented with this type of thing, like you felt even a type of regret, like, fuck, I don't have it, and I'm angry because I don't have it because you're my family, and my mom did sacrifice a lot. She did raise me. She did do all this
Yes.
to bring me to where I'm at right here. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I felt it. And I would love to be
that's
able to
just
help them.
accepting that too.
Yeah, I would love to be able to help my parents out. But there's two sides of this though, because what we have to realize is like especially for me and for a lot of us, our parents are grown-ups. They're adults. They've made all the decisions that they made and they're responsible for that. I am not responsible for my parents' success or failure. They are. I am not responsible for any of the mistakes that they've made. I'm not responsible for the poor financial decisions that they have made. I am not responsible for any of that. I would love to help them, and I will do that once I have abundance in the resources to help them. But it is not it is not even close to my first priority. Me making that one of my top priorities, because it was at one point. It was a top priority of mine. Like I was about to just recently, a year ago today, I was signing up to purchase my parents' house so that they could go like live in my grandma's house and like build these things and do all this stuff. I was signing up to take on this house that needs, I don't know, 100 grand worth of work and I would never be able to get the value back ever, ever, ever in the neighborhood that it's in. It's a very poor financial investment for how much money they wanted for the house. And I was going to do that because I was stuck in a belief system that I owed it to them and that I needed to take care of them in this way. And if I didn't escape that, if I didn't make the decision to say, because me doing that was going to hurt me and my wife and my kids financially in a very big way for a long time. It's hard to recover from some of these financial decisions that we make.
Yeah,
Right. So, like,
especially when you're trying to help people out of deficit.
exactly, especially when it is to help others. So, like, this whole concept of the gaining, we got to get ourselves, our number one priority is like me and my kids and my wife. I can't continue to take all of this time, energy, and resources that we have and give it to other people to help them with their things when it's hurting my people. It's hurting my wife. It's hurting my children. Those are my people
Yeah,
now.
so I guess, yeah,
They're top of the list. It's not mom and dad anymore. It's
yeah.
not brothers and sisters. It's not cousins. It's not best friends. This is my tribe.
So I guess the question I originally, and this definitely clarifies, the question I originally asked was, does that build a bad habit? If I'm, maybe I can help a little bit. Maybe I can give you this. I can't give you all of this, but I can give you is that a bad habit to do for myself? Is that just further, um, I don't know, concreting or solidifying that behavior will inevitably detriment me in the long run?
You have to decide what you're able to give that won't hurt you and your family.
I guess if it's a question, you shouldn't even be doing it. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
like you said, it comes my family first,
Just ask like,
my kids first.
what do I have an abundance of right now? Do you have an abundance of money?
No,
Do you have an abundance of time?
No.
Okay. Then don't give those to people.
What's the address?
But so yeah, I get you. Those are most important. Those are most important. It's just like,
Yeah.
I go out of my way to try to
Maybe,
give them something.
yeah, maybe if
And
you
it's like,
got like an abundance of like cans of Coke in the house or something, like, some
I
sugar
mean,
or some,
I got an abundance of land. I got an abundance of, I don't have an abundance of money, but I got resources.
yeah. So
It's
if you have,
it's just where I'm not trying to get a habit of me just falling back into, yeah, I can save you. Yeah, I can do that. Because like,
yeah,
to me, within that, it kind of like weaseled into a way of, now I feel like I'm responsible for much more than just my brothers and my sisters now. Like, it started that way when I was a kid. Now it's like my mother's involved into that. My grandfather, my uncle, like, these are your family. This is your immediate family you grew up with. It's like, I get angry now when they ask me, "Hey, can you just come pick me up?" And and my initial knee-jerk reaction of that, "Hey, can you?" It's like, fuck, I'm already mad. No matter what it is.
mhm.
And I don't want it to be a trigger. Like, I love them.
Then you got to grieve all the shit that's happened that is leading you to get
No, they're
triggered in that
definitely,
way.
yeah, that makes a lot
Right.
of sense.
All right. You good? Makes sense now?
Yeah, I need to stop spreading myself out. I need to like concentrate on saying no.
Yeah.
One more time. Yeah, I think I am.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
No problem. All right. Chris?
Yeah, yeah, this week I realized I went through a lot of that stuff, but anger it still like sneaks in and it gets self-destructive sometimes too. Because or it lets me know that I'm self-destructing. Like if I go to the point of exhaustion on something, I start getting like a hair trigger at just getting mad at myself or just feeling like I don't want to do anything. I gotta start paying attention to myself and not let myself get to that point. Just always try doing too many things at once.
Yeah, you
Like
trying to help everybody all the time.
well, not just that, I just try to be busy all the time. And then
Mm,
I getting burnt out. I used to help a lot of people a lot more, but then I realized very, no, it took a long time to realize it. The more you help people, the more they depend on you. And if they're dependent, then they're kind of screwed after a while. I noticed that with my mom because when I lived there, I was kind of like the person that fixed everything, which I didn't mind at the time because, well, I didn't have anything to do. But then it developed an issue where I wouldn't do different things or wouldn't try to live much of my life because then I was the guy to fix it. But if I wasn't there, shit could get worse. So I had to break away from that whole dependence thing. And I didn't want the same thing that's happened to my grandparents where they got older and then they did less and less and less because my mom would do more and more and more for them. I didn't want my mom going through that because I want her to be able to move around better than my grandpa does now.
so where do you see it being busy now? Like now that you're not giving so much, where do you see this popping up?
Sometimes distractions, other times with just trying to deal with. Right now, I'm dealing with schoolwork, with the coursework here, with going to the gym, and just a bunch of different things in some days. Or if I only have a day or two off a week, or try to spend time with people, then I got to cram everything into like one day. And with school, if I try to study the book, I'd have to read the whole damn thing Thursday, which means Thursday night's sleep is pretty much shot, and then that fucks up everything else down the line. So I'm working on that. But that's where I noticed that it's done in that need that I need to stop and rest,
Mm,
which again is came from when I was younger. Always being there for everybody, I forgot to be there for myself. And the covert contracts, I had learned about those a long time ago with the breakup.
Yep.
I was guilty of a lot of those things, but I thought I was doing the nice thing because growing up with my family and my dad passing and helping out where I could, I was the one that was the person that just was the easiest to deal with, like the coursework said. Like I was the one that just was always reliable and just, you know, made things easier. My older brother was the one that wanted everything, asked for everything, got everything. And then in the video, you mentioned like your sister was always getting everything, and you're just, why in the hell didn't I get that? Or why didn't I get all that stuff? Why'd she get the car? I was that way with my older brother because he was always the one that needed more attention because he lashed out and did a lot of stupid shit that I didn't do. I had resentment toward him about that. Because then my mom would be looking at me like, don't be like your brother. Don't do this shit. Don't start drinking. Don't do that. Like I never fucking did. Sorry, just tangent. So just
So there's
this
a
week,
resentment of like, I
there
never
was
did
one.
any of this stuff, and like, why do you keep giving things to him? Like I'm the
Or
good
when you
one,
keep yelling and getting aggravated at me and
right? Because
telling
of
me
his
not
shit,
telling me these things to not do when I don't do them to begin with.
right?
So it's this week's been kind of like just pinpointing things in the past that I may have to get over and accept, and places that I knew I went wrong, and just to know to not let that happen again in the future.
Good. Is there any questions you got on it? Anything you got stuck with?
I think it's just stuff that I got to deal with on my own. Like realize when I'm getting to the point where I need to rest and just doing that,
Yeah.
and just not trying to burn the candle at both ends, so to speak.
Yeah. As we get older, that's more important.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't have unlimited batteries anymore.
No, and coffee can only do so much. I'm not going any further than that.
Correct. Yeah. It is a renewable resource. Like you can get some sleep and like get back in the game, but you gotta get the rest.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Good. All right. Cool, man. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Hunter.
Uh, yeah, I mean, anger is something I used to deal with a lot more growing up, especially the last few years. But I've kind of been able to hone that in on like important stuff. It's still like it's funny you mentioned the Y. Like I was going to the Y yesterday in the morning, and I had to get to boxing. Then I had to do shit afterwards. So like the traffic was slow. So I'm like, fuck, get the fuck out of the way. Because I needed to get my gym time in. But like I've been able to use anger more appropriately with in certain subjects, like at work. Last week, I was on my sales calls with my sales guys, and I used anger to kind of express my frustration with some of the things they were doing. Basically, kind of like didn't like start screaming at them, but I raised my tone and said, "Listen, like this is now, before X, Y, and Z was an ask. Now this is a function of the job. This is no longer, I'm asking, I'm telling you every Monday, and I kind of had a, tone to it. Every Monday, this is going to be done. I tried to be nice about it and give you guys the kind of grace to being adults about this, but now this is going to be mandatory, and I also expect it to be logged in. So it's now went to kind of an informal to a very formal. This is what we're going to be doing.
Where you got sales guys tracking stuff or putting things
Yeah,
into.
we have a CRM. I'm a sales guy myself now. An operator. So I use Salesforce in the past, and I fucking hate CRMs. Right? We have a CRM that's kind of based around our business. It's great, but I'm not a huge CRM guy. I'm not a huge their ass guy, like expect you to be adults and do stuff. Like the CRM really is a tool for you to remember and to be more intentional about what you're doing. But I had this one objective where we're getting basically fed leads by one of our manufacturers. And a lot of them don't do that. So this one manufacturer is giving us a spreadsheet every week. And I've been saying, hey, just follow up just one a week. That's it. Just one a week. We'll start from there. We'll start building this thing up. Like, one follow up a week will turn to two, and you don't know where this is going to take. And I was like, hey, has anybody done it? And it was just kind of looking down. And I was like, all right. So now this is mandatory. This is not, and this will be logged into the CRM. So, you guys, gave me the grace to do it, but now it's going to be a mandatory action. And I went and logged in to see this is going to be done. And I was like, because we're being fed leads here. Like, I was like, nobody else feeds us leads. So you guys are just kind of being ridiculous about it. And how much more, this is good for you because, this is the low hanging fruit. So take it while it's hot. So, I've been in the past, obviously, especially with me and my dad, that's where I get my anger from. That's how my dad controlled situation. He just screamed and you fucking guy. And anytime like we got out of line or my mom, I'm going to call dad, and he's going to just rip you guys, so he used anger and intimidation to put us into check. Can't do that anymore when he's older and too, I'm 3 times the size of him now. So it's like, he doesn't have that effect anymore to, use anger and intimidation. I did find like me and my girlfriend got into a bit of an argument last week. And, I found myself getting angry, and I kind of realized, oh shit, after I got off, I was like, oh, I got angry and I lost my tone and I was pissed. And then I definitely fell into very bad place last week because I've been going through my finances and things were just rough. And so that took me spiraling. I pretty much started ghosting her. And yesterday she actually called me out and hit me with something that made me just fucking very introspective. So I told you I texted my dad, hey, I need my pay changed, right? I think I kind of mentioned that. Never heard back from him. Friday, I'm just being really on top of my finances. My friend came over for my back room that I'm working on,
Yep.
Matt. So he came, it's going to be $3,000 for me to fix this exterior wall, put the door in. And I trust, he's a good friend of mine. So he's legit. So I'm also now more fuck, spying a little bit more. Then I go on to Monarch and I look and my fucking boosts up. I'm like, okay. So I go into ADP. My fucking entire pay has been changed. So my dad did go and do what he wants. Never said a word. So I texted him and I said, hey, Dad, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for what you did. It really helps me with my understanding my finance. Again, this really, it's like a $42,000 bonus, but it's not really a bonus. It's just changing my pay. And I said, I really appreciate that. Yeah. It was but I was hey, can you just please communicate with me and just, say, hey, bud, or, I got you. Or anyway, it was I really feel hurt and unacknowledged that you didn't say anything. You just completely left me in the dark. And again, I really appreciate you did, but it was just hurtful not hearing back from you. Never heard a word from him. And it fucking hurt. I was at the gym, on Friday, battling tears, just feeling completely, again, not worthy of his attention from my father. Just saying, hey, bud, sorry, I didn't get back to you. Nothing, not a fucking word. It was, I couldn't even be happy about. There was relief, but I couldn't be happy about it because I was just so fucking hurt. And I still am that he couldn't just say, sorry, bud. So I'm still kind of just still hurt by that a lot, actually. Almost thinking, hey, hopefully it's something went wrong with his phone, but I'm too hurt to call him and be like, hey, is your phone not working? He'd be like, no, why? You know? Um, but anyway, so that means this was fine. Then, I was talking with my girlfriend, and again, I was totally just a total fucking asshole. I said eventually, like, I was like, listen, like, what I'm doing is completely wrong. Like, you must feel terrible. I'm completely avoiding you. This isn't right. I'm not acting right. Do you want to come over tonight? We'll talk about things. I'm just really apologizing. And she said, you did mention like all of your girlfriends in the past, you said they cheated on you, right? And I was like, yeah. She's like, have you acted like this before? Like, is this something like a trait of yours? And I was like, yeah, like when I go in a dark place, like this is how I learned to. She's like, I just want to let you know, like that might be a reason, like you're and she's like, this is not how I feel, but you're leaving a huge space for another man to just now walk in and connect with a woman. And she's like, obviously that takes in the attitude or the personality of another woman to allow that and cheat on you. That's one thing too. But for you to just allow that she's like, is that what you want, for somebody else to take your, take your responsibility roles up? And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I never really it's always like, you cheated on me, blah, blah, but it's always like, yeah, like, holy shit. Like, was I doing something intentional to like back off and allow this to happen? And I was like, and she's like, wasn't being, she was just like, I adore you and respect you. I'm just letting you know what this type of action's like. It was like, it's definitely like leaving the door open for another man just to walk in and make that connection right behind your back. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, it was like totally like insightful and crazy. So that was kind of like a really like eye-opening conversation. Because she's like, it's a lack of just, as a woman, we just want connection.
Yeah.
And you are not connecting.
Right. It's a good call. Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah.
It's correct. And it's like the ghosting of her and the isolation. And then if you guys do talk, like you're fucking ramped up or you're getting triggered real easy. And it does leave this giant space for a guy to come in, and she just starts venting to him. And there's plenty of weasel guys out there that would like, they're ready to be vented to. And they're like, I've been waiting for her to break up with this guy. I've been waiting for something like this to happen. She's correct. And I think it goes back to, the big roots of the shit that you're overcoming. Is like my relationship with my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
Has been fucking up my other relationships in ways that I'm still like, you're still unraveling. You're like, shit, the shit that my dad and I are going through right now almost fucked this up.
And I even told her, I was like, listen, I'm like, I'm in the middle of like all this mental, so like all this too, there's like, I've been slightly over because I'm like unraveling shit. I'm like peeling back these onion peels, and like, so like shit's hitting me left and right. Like, and I'm trying to understand that stuff. And it's not like you just grasp it. Like you peel back the onion. No, I got it. Fucking epiphany. I fucking clicks. Like, so there's this, I'm like, I'm sorry. You're kind of caught in collateral damage in some of this. I don't mean it that way. Like, and the fact that I even came and texted you is like, listen, like, I'm avoiding you. This isn't right. You must feel terrible. I was like, at least to me, like, you don't have to feel this way. At least to me is a step in the right direction. And I was able to catch that and be like, yo, like, this is fucked up. Because I could have just kept avoiding you and hoped that you went. And I said, I could have hoped maybe you went away and disappeared. And then I could be like, see, they all leave me because I'm a fucking loser, because I can't handle it. Like, I could have done that, but I stepped up. Like at least for me, that's like a big step. I know it might not look the same for you, obviously. And I did that.
She's like, this is the better version of you.
No, that's what she's like. I was like, I completely understand that. Yeah. But then she's like, no, but I do see this in a lot of men. She's like, I've seen this in other men. So it's not like she's like, so sometimes I think, is this how men are? Like they just disconnect. And I was like, yeah. But I'm, actively trying not to do that, but I'm not perfect. And I was like, you're in the middle of it. And I apologize.
It's like if you were playing on the team and you got injured and stopped showing up to practice, right? And then didn't come to the game and you just didn't say anything. And eventually they cut you. And then you're like, see, these assholes, I'm injured. I got an injury and they just cut my ass like I never did anything for them.
I'm from Philly, Island Eye from practice. Talk about the game, practice. So, I mean, covert contracts is a lot easier for me to call out. I was able to, bang out 6 covert contracts pretty quick. And I'm sure there's tons more. Yeah, that's something that I've always, and again, that's kind of the fear of speaking up and, of being shut down, just like, with my dad, where you spoke up and you just weren't unheard. And it's just kind of like, so that's,
it becomes like, what's
fear.
the point? It becomes, what's the point of me even voicing if it's not even acknowledged? It's not even like it's met with rage or anger or like an argument. It's not even acknowledged.
Yeah. And it's so that, so not being acknowledged is hurtful. So then you try to feel like, all right, what if I just like do this action and then get that action back in return, which obviously doesn't work either. So it is of getting through a fear and understanding, like not everyone is, goes through that situation. So you're not going to get that back, that rejection back from everybody. But some people you are. So yeah, so it was a weird week, and I'm still pretty upset. Like just not even a word. I mean, a word. I'm not angry about it. I'm just sad.
Yeah, that's the right way to be.
Yeah.
It's like I keep giving you opportunity after opportunity to like connect. I've done so much for you and your business and like all of this stuff, and it's nothing. It's still not there.
I opened up. I was like, Dad, I'm feeling, and it's hurtful. Like what he said, he's just like,
right. He can't face that.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah.
That's it. Like for a lot of us, I would say everyone in here, everyone in here. Like, does everyone in here feel like in one way or another you couldn't connect with your dad? Is that? I think it's all a common thing for us. All of us have experienced it in different ways. Like my dad, completely different than that. But still, it's this lack of. It doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter what we talk about. It always comes back to like me feeling unheard and unconnected with him. It doesn't matter. Like I've tried all of the things that I can think of, and it has never. I see him connect with other people the way I wish he would connect with me. He's connected with my wife. He's shared things with my wife that I've never heard him say. And it hurts. It's like, why don't I get this? Like, why is it impossible for you to communicate with me in the ways that you like give to some of these other people? I don't get it, but I just stopped trying to get it. Like, I just stopped trying to understand his shit and just come to this place of acceptance of this is who he is. I'm not going to continue wasting all of this energy on trying to change who he is, because I've tried for a long time. All of us have, made those attempts in different ways. And it's like, unfortunately, a waste of time.
I will say the one thing through the lack of that has made me like a much better father. Like
Yeah.
I can't even step out of my front door to like take the trash out without my boys going, "Love you, Dad." Like, I mean, we hug each other all the time. Like there's always "I love you." Sometimes my son will just be going to bed downstairs and he'll just text me, "I love you, Dad. Good night."
Yeah. It's a good way to look at it.
Um, Actually, the one thing I did write down, I don't know if you heard it, goes perfect, but Neil Strauss, he had a good one-liner. It's like with the covert contract. Uh, it's that guy from the game. He wrote the game book.
Oh, that's who he is? Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
it
Yep.
was great. It said, and this is unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments,
Mm.
which is like perfect for the covert contract.
Yep. That is a good one. What has he done lately? I don't like, I never really follow much of his stuff. I don't, I never read that book even. I know the book, like I've seen some of the stuff in
His
the
whole
past.
his whole actual thing was like he wanted to be a legitimate journalist.
Mm.
Um, and he ended up like interviewing Tom Cruise a whole bunch of times, and so I think he's done like like outside like the whole like that was like this whole thing to get involved into writing and being more into like some like journaling. Somehow it ended up he got into the pickup whatever world. But he does like podcasts and stuff. I've seen. Oh, that's what I saw. It was a podcast on relationships and stuff like that.
I see
But
that now. Yeah, I'm
I
looking.
think it ended up his wife cheated on him or something like that, or vice versa. But then years went by and they reconnected and they have like a whole new like relationship and like he might have cheated on her. Probably.
It's probably more likely the guy who wrote the game.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I've ever seen the opposite happen where it like ends up working out very well.
Yeah. But I think he does like relationship work and
Yeah, yeah.
obviously he doesn't believe in any of that stuff anymore. He's like, yeah, that wasn't really like that was obviously very manipulative
20
and
years ago.
yeah, and really not healthy stuff. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of what he does, but it keeps a low profile and just does, I think, like sports journaling. That was like his passion, like sports and celebrity, like journaling, journalist.
Gotcha.
That's what the word is.
What's up? What's up, baby? Not right now. Ask mommy to help you with that, okay? Okay, go call him. Okay, let me finish my call with my guys, okay? All right, go ask mommy to help you. My children are learning how to put jeans on.
My kids still don't wear jeans.
Yeah, I'm like, don't come over here. I can't help you zip your pants up right now. I'm sorry. Uh, Scott, what was the story you wanted to share?
Everybody else get their time in because it's just a funny story.
Yeah, go ahead. I think we're good.
It was going back to your conversation earlier with like being just put in a situation with some random shithead. Years back, I took the kids, my wife and I took the girls to a apple orchard for like the annual fall apple picking shenanigans, New York, and we're all done for the day. And my younger daughter is like model slim, dressed to the nines so she can get the perfect pictures in the orchard, da da da. And the three of them are over at at the place picking out pies and stuff like that and paying for the stuff before we leave. And I'm standing, and I brought my dogs with me. At the time, I had a Rottweiler and a Mastiff. And it's just me and the dogs hanging out at the edge of the parking lot, waiting for the three of them to roll up. And this guy's standing there waiting for somebody too. And he looks at him and he goes, "Nice, huh?" And I like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "The blonde." I was like, "That one?" He goes, "Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you?" And I was like, "I don't know, man." And at that point, my daughter decides it's the perfect moment to come running towards me. And I go, "You mean the 13-year-old, my daughter?" He looks at me, he looks down at the dogs, and I go, "I wouldn't stand here much longer." And he's like, "I'm gonna go now," and darts. So it's just one of those like, there's a couple ways I can handle this right now. And I could have ripped the guy apart right there. And I'm just like, I got my kids here, I got my wife here, it's a public place. And it's which is like I just looked down at the dog like, you might want to go.
People say the stupidest things.
You mean the 13-year-old, my daughter? Uh,
Yeah, you should leave now. It would be
You should
appropriate
go.
for you to leave. We should. I hope we should both hope to never see each other again.
It was just
What a
Think-
ridiculous.
Think
All
the
the
dog
dir-
is
all the
looking at you
direction-
like, can I tell him?
all the directions that could have gone. It's just like, oh, dude, you picked the wrong fucking person to say that to.
Oh man. Thank you for sharing that. All right, guys. Let's wrap up. Good week. What do we got next week? Okay, so we're gonna go into accountability next week. This will be fun. So next week is accountability. Dive in, excuses. Identify your excuses. We all got them. We all use them in different ways. And then also look at the other side of it. Like, where am I taking accountability for shit that isn't mine? Right? Just like we uncovered some stuff today, talking about like I was taking accountability for my parents' financial well-being. It's not mine. So where are we taking accountability? Where have we taken accountability for things that should be other people's? All right. So that'll be the two directions. Let's find the healthy meeting ground, as always, with these things. Yeah. And then I'm on normal schedule this week up until Thursday. I'm having LASIK surgery. I should be good to top on with you guys Sunday. I'm planning for it unless something comes up. But unless I say otherwise, let's plan on popping on Sunday and hanging out. Maybe after I have the surgery Friday, I feel differently. But as of now, let's plan on hanging out again on Sunday. Okay.
That's good.
That's good, man.
All right, guys.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Take
Have a
care,
good week.
gents.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.